Good morning, children. Welcome to the third part of the poem, The Ant and the Cricket. I think with the previous lesson, you understood the poem thoroughly well in terms of its meaning and content. Today, we are going to discuss something more about the poem in terms of its references, its rhyme scheme, its figures of speech, symbols, etc. Okay, so let us move to the one line that the ant says, we ants never borrow, we ants never lend. Okay, so do you know from where this reference has come? Let me tell you, this is a beautiful expression coined by, or the quote coined by William Shakespeare, the great dramatist of English of all times. And let me tell you, this conversation or this quote comes from his famous tragedy called the Hamlet, where in the Hamlet, a character called Polonius speaks these words to his son Laertes. Okay, it is in the first act, scene number 3 of the Hamlet, and the character Polonius counsels his son Laertes before he embarks on his visit to Paris for education. He says, neither a borrower nor a lender be, for loan oft loses both itself and a friend. It means do not lend or borrow money from a friend, because if you do so, you will lose both your friend and your money. If you lend, he will avoid paying back, and if you borrow, you will fall out of your savings as you turn into a spendthrift and face humiliation. So in both the cases, we will be losing a friend. So in life, we should neither borrow nor lend. We should preserve for ourselves, save for ourselves, and we should be independent. Don't be dependent on others. This is a great lesson that the ants have taught us through this poem. Ants never lend, ants never borrow. So, do you think that the ant is very assertive and at the same time very arrogant? Think about it. And refused his friend a time's meal or so. Do you think it's a kind of arrogance? I don't think it's so. If he is a real friend, he will assert and tell the wrong things that his friend is doing. Here, that is what the ant has done and told, no, I can't give you anything, you go away, and now you learn the lesson of saving for the next winter. What may be the reason? What lesson does the ant wants to teach his friend cricket? Ant must have feared that if he had lent food this time, the cricket would never try to learn anything. So next year also the same thing may happen. So the ant must have thought good about his friend, that he should improve and he should be independent. So that may be the good feeling that the ant must have, though he was very angry with the cricket. Okay, so now let us look at various figures of speech used in this poem. So we can see that there are lots of a few figures of speech like alliteration, and we can see figure of speech like symbols used in this poem. Okay, so alliteration, you know what is alliteration? Alliteration. Alliteration. Alliterate means similar sounds are matching together. Okay, for example, she sells seashells on the seashore. S, l. Sounds are repeated, right? Which gives a kind of beauty in listening to it. Okay, then let me tell you another one. Betty bought a bit of butter. You know that one. The tongue twisters. Okay, always the tongue twisters are kind of alliteration. So the poets are also using this alliteration in poems for sound effect, and at the same time it gives meaning to the whole content of the poem as well. Okay, can you tell me some alliterative words here, repeating and giving a kind of similar consonant sounds? Oh, cricket, wicket. Is it alliterating? crumb, found, ground. Are they alliterating? Try to identify other words of alliteration in the poem or where the sounds are alliterating. Okay, so let us move on to next part. Towards the end of the poem, you find there's a reference to two-legged cricket. Okay, so may I ask you a question? Does the word cricket refer to only crickets, the insects, or anybody else? We have come to know that there is no two-legged cricket as insects. What are these two-legged crickets referred to here? Definitely they are human beings, right? So we only have two legs. Okay, so what is the character or the nature of the cricket? It doesn't save anything for future and goes and begs before his friend. Do we come across such kind of people around us? I think definitely yes, right? You must have. Or you must have got such a friends also. They must be using up everything what they have and they will borrow from others. Okay, so this cricket symbolizes or stands for or represents such people who always depend upon others and who do not save for the future. All right. So one thing which stands for something else or represents, we can say they are symbols. Very easily we can understand that. White dove. White dove, okay? So what does white dove stand for? Definitely it stands for peace. Okay, so white dove is a symbol of peace. Now red color, traffic lights, red traffic light. Red stands for blood or danger, right? Okay, so this red color stands for or symbolizes danger, right? Now you think about the tricolor or any color of the national flags of your country or the tricolor of India. Each color stands for something else. It symbolizes something else. Okay. So simply for a student of class 8, you can just understand symbols are words or images or the stories even sometimes represent something else. Okay, so it can be a symbol. It symbolizes, right? So symbol of sacrifice, symbol of joy, we can say symbol of sadness, symbol of glory, symbol of victory, symbol of peace, etc. Okay, so here the cricket here can also stand as a symbol for the very kind of spendthrift human beings who will spend everything and do not preserve for the future and depend completely upon others and disturb others. Okay, such kind of thoughtless beings who do not save for the future are the cricket here standing for. Okay, so the cricket can be a symbol. All right, I think you got it there as well. So let us move on. We have understood alliteration and we have understood symbols. We have found the references to Shakespeare's drama as well. Children, let's move on to the next exercise. Here we're going to analyze the rhyme scheme of the poem. You must have heard of rhythm. You must have learned a lot of nursery rhymes, Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall, like that. The rising and falling of the rhythms you can find there, right? So the internal words are rhyming each other and making some kind of a rhythm, up and down kind of thing, okay? So likewise, we can have rhyme as well. And normally we are talking about the end rhyme, okay? The rhymes which are at the ending of each line, okay? Or each that particular part of the lines, we can say in a poem, in a stanza, or completely throughout the poem, right? So here we are going to study the end rhymes of the whole poem. Okay, so normally the end rhymes are represented by the small letters of English alphabet. Okay, so if a particular sound ends in a particular way, we will represent with A. For example, a silly young cricket accustomed to sing the sound. So we are representing it with a letter A, small letter A. Then, through the warm sunny months of gay summer and spring. Now let us say sing and spring. Both are ending the same sounds, with the same sounds, right? So we will repeat that. A. Now, began to complain when he found that at home, come, sound almost nearly rhyming. So we will give it as B and B again. Now, not a crumb to be found. Quite different sound. Ound, ground. So we are giving another letter C. A, B, B, C, C. Now C, tree. E, A, B, B, C, C, D. Like that it goes on. Okay. A, B, B, C, C, D, D, etc. Okay. Then so you can just mark the end rhymes with these kinds of small letters of English alphabet and find the rhyme. Okay, suppose you have been given only one stanza and asked what is the rhyme scheme of the above stanza. For example, the first stanza, sing, spring, home, come. Okay, so we will normally make it as A, B, B. Let's find the second stanza. Not a crumb to be found, ground, same, A, C, tree, B, B. Because we are taking only one stanza, okay? If you're taking the whole poem, it will go like A, B, B, C, C, D, D, like that, okay? As per the sound, ending sound. So, this is what we are talking about, the rhyme scheme. I think you got what a rhyme scheme is. Next one, are you enjoying? Okay, it's quite simple. So next one, let us find out the seasonal words here used in the poem. The seasonal words, which are the seasons referred to here? Definitely you will jump up and say it's a spring. Yes, definitely spring season is dealt with here. Do you find any other season here? Oh yeah, it's talking about summer and spring as well. Okay, so now we know normally some seasons we attach to happiness, glory, nourishment, growth, vitality, energy, etc. And some season we denote to gloom, sadness, unpleasantness, inactivity, etc. Okay, so in this poem also, if you analyze, you will get the various seasons and various words are used to tell about the features of the season or the mood that these seasons give to human beings. Okay, so I'll strike some examples here. After that you have to answer them. Okay, so you have to make it as happy words and sad words, or pleasant words or unpleasant words. You can even attach a season as well. Here, let me give you one example. Summer. The words used in this poem is gay, happy, flower, leaves. All these things are being given there. And so there are so many kind of words which denote happiness. Okay, and let us move on to the winter season. For example, it is terribly cold, trembling, dripping, wet, starvation, famine, etc. Okay, so I think now you got how to spot out words which denote different moods, okay, of us. So you make a column, one side happy words, one side unpleasant words or sad words or unhappy words or whatsoever be. You can write happy words, summer and spring as a title, and next column you can say sad words winter. Okay, you can write sad words winter. All right, make two columns and go through the poem once again and write down or list out these two different types of words. Okay, don't you find this very interesting to study a poem in a deeper way like this? All right. So with this, we will move on to some uh, proverbs. Okay, so you have studied the poem, you understood the content, and it is telling all about saving things for future in time, right? It is talking about the importance of time. So, don't you remember, maybe in the first or second video, I talked about the content of the poem in the form of a saying or a proverb regarding stitching and tailoring. Okay, yeah, I think you remember it right now. A stitch in time saves nine. If you take a proper action in right time, it will avoid lot many troubles if we keep it unchecked or unsolved. Okay, a correct decision making at the correct time will save a lot of troubles in our life. So it's a great lesson for us to learn. And I talked about another proverb about friendship. Do you remember? That's it. A friend in need is a friend indeed. This poem tells that as well. Okay, likewise, there are so many um, proverbs you can remember thinking about the content or the events of the poem. Write down a few more proverbs which tells or underlines the content of the story or the learnings from the poem, the ant and the cricket. Okay, so it can be about time, it can be about friendship, it can be about decision making, etc. So I request all of you to write down a few proverbs which tell the story in nutshell, in short, in summary. Okay, that must be a little more interesting for you. And once you wrote a proverb, you should think about it in terms of this poem and what it teaches for our lives. You know, my children, the lives lessons can be learned from the proverbs. That's why our grannies and our grandpas and our mom and dad may sometimes tell some proverbs to us when we do something wrong or something right, etc. Okay, so it is a way of teaching very effectively the values of life, right? So it's always better or it's always handy if you learn a lot of proverbs, and it is very much useful in our writing to express ourselves or while we are speaking or expressing our mind to somebody, etc. It shortens the language or it tells things in a brief manner. So it's very important for us to enrich our language with certain proverbs as well. You could even ask your parents what different proverbs are available in your mother tongue or local language, not necessarily in English as well, and share with your friends also. It'll be a very good experience. I still remember my mother used to tell a lot of proverbs connected to our naughty behavior when we were young. And I still remember that, and I find values in what she said that time. So that's what we say, that proverbs teach us lifelong. So learn some and enrich yourself. Okay, now we are moving on to the types of questions that you may get in your examination if you are taking it in an examination point of view. Okay, so simply a short answer questions may come, or it can be 4 lines of the poem will be given and there will be some questions. Okay, so I'm trying to give you an extract question as an example. Let me see if you're able to answer them. First extract, if you get this extract in your examination or somewhere, a silly young cricket accustomed to sing through the warm sunny months of gay summer and spring began to complain when he found that at home his cupboard was empty and the window was calm. First question, do you think the cricket was silly? Why? You may think about it. Why is the cricket silly? Yeah, the cricket is silly because he didn't save for his winter time and he simply lavished away the happy times and he went and begged to the ant for some food. So it's very silly of a man. A responsible person will not do that. Okay, that's the answer. So, second one. What are the 3 seasons referred to here in this above lines? 3 seasons, okay, not 1 or 2. Yeah, the 3 seasons referred to in the above lines are summer, spring, and winter. All right. There's another question. Why was the cricket's cupboard empty? What's your answer? The cricket's cupboard was empty because he didn't bother to save anything for his future or winter time or hard times. Now, fourth question. What is the rhyme scheme of the above stanza? Then you will go and underline the ending sound, not the letter, ending sound. Spring, sing, a, home, come, sound. So B, B, A, B, B. How will you write it? The rhyme scheme is single quote, A together, little gap, B, B, unquote. Okay, in single quote, you will write A. The rhyme scheme is A, B, B, A, B, B in single quote and full stop. You got it? Okay. So let me tell you one more example if you have doubts. The last four lines. Thus ending, he hastily lifted the wicket, and out of the door turned the poor little cricket. Folks call this a fable. I will warrant it's true. It's true. Sorry. Some crickets have four legs and some have two. My question. Thus ending. What is the ending referred to here? The ending was the ant driving the cricket away by lifting a wicket, as the cricket had come there to borrow some food. All right, that was the ending. All right, so he hastily lifted the wicket. Who is he here? He stands for the ant, to whom the cricket had visited to borrow some grains. Okay. Out of the door turned the poor little cricket. Why do you call the cricket poor? Is it because he doesn't have anything to eat here as he is poor? Not really. Though it is also a reason, it's not really. The cricket is called poor here because he was not helped by the ant, and he is in a misery. He is starving, he is hungry, and very much wet. Nobody to help. All right. So folks call this. And next question: is the ant or is the cricket responsible for his poor condition or somebody else? Definitely, the cricket himself is responsible for his poor condition because he has never saved anything for winter time. All right, okay. Folks call this a fable. Who are folks here? Folks here stands for people. What's a fable? You know it very well. I don't need to repeat it. It's quite boring to repeat it. Okay, I will warrant it true. Who will warrant? Who is I here? I will warrant it true. I will tell it's true. I'm very confident to say that it's true. I assure it's true. It's a fable. I here stands for the cricket. Not at all. He ran away. Is the ant? Not at all. It is a poet. Okay. I will warrant it true. Some crickets have four legs and some have two. Who are the two-legged crickets, and why does the poet call them two-legged? Two-legged crickets here refer to the human beings, those human beings who do not preserve for their future and depend completely on others. Such kinds of reckless human beings, foolish human beings who are always parasites upon others. I think you got the idea about it. Okay, children. So you can even have some writing assignments like a friend in need is a friend indeed. How far is it true in the case of this poem, The Ant and the Cricket? Next question is, time and tide waits for none. How far is it correct in the case of the poem? Next question, what lessons do you learn for your life from the poem The Ant and the Cricket? Last question, did you like the poem? Why? Why not? Okay, or even you can have some, what I can say, diary entry type of question. You were the cricket, and who had been driven off by the ants, not even giving a grain of food. And the cricket was very sad, going back to his home and thinking over what wrong thing he has done, and how his friend has behaved, which he never expected, and what lesson he learned for his life. You are the cricket. Okay, you can even write the ant was very sad after the episode that he drove the cricket off. Um, Even though his friend had come to ask for some food, it was such a small thing. Still, the ant drove this cricket off without even giving anything. So the ant was so sad. At the same time, he was very much happy as well. I can't say happy, rather, he was very much calculated as well. So the ant is writing his feelings in a diary. He's very sad because he could not help the ant. But he thinks that he has done the right thing because it is for improving his friend Cricket. If he had um, saved this time also, or served food for the cricket this time also, helped him this time also, the cricket will never improve, and these kinds of dependence will continue. So he wanted to change his friend, so he did so. So it can be in the form of a diary entry as well. Children, I hope you have enjoyed the sessions. 3 classes, though it was pretty long. I think you must have got a lot of insight, a lot of understanding about life, decisions, behavior of people, etc. Thank you so much, and we'll meet you soon. Be safe, stay blessed. Thank you so much. Bye bye. Good day.